And my dad actually got a book for me out of, that was just print, no pictures. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Yes, this is, hi. I wrote all the time, I don't think I actually dotted my eyes with hearts. I think that's hyperbole, but probably flowers. I probably dotted my eyes with little flowers. And I actually have my grade 5 report card that says, doing very well and this and that and the other thing, but her writing is too fancy and it's hard to read. And I was writing all the time and writing poetry and writing all that stuff that adolescent girls do. And then when I was 16, my mother committed suicide. And suddenly, you could say it was writing as therapy. It was a time when, tragedies don't get bigger than that, right? They just don't get bigger than that in your life. And so I was coping with this. And I had so many friends, so many family members, and we were all coping with this problem, with this huge disaster in our lives. And I started realizing that, people would say, when I lost my father, when I lost my first child, and I started realizing this is hugely personal tragedy for me, and yet everybody has something like this in their life.
There was a man at the wall. He was grateful for us all.
So I really firmly believe in the writing workshop. I really firmly believe in getting feedback pretty quickly after you write something to make sure that what you think you said is what people are getting out of it, at least in part. Right? And so I found the writing community here in Fredericton extremely open, extremely available to, for somebody who's new. I have to say it's amazingly healthy. We walk the dogs several times a day, little walks, but then we one big walk in the afternoon if the weather's decent. And so it gets me out, right? There's, you look at writers who are not a terribly healthy looking lot, right? Kind of pasty and a little round shouldered, and so it's really sane. But I remember back when I was thinking about being a writer and wondering, well, who's my community? I'm a pretty ordinary demographic, white, female, middle class. And then I realized that that's my demographic and kind of peripatetic. Right at the moment, I live here. I have a brother in Montreal, one in Toronto, and one in Calgary. It's not, and I don't think that that's such an unusual situation. And so there is this sort of cultural idea that you have to be rooted in a place and write from that place, and we put a lot of value on that. And I'm thinking, well, that's one way of just automatically cutting off the existence and the reality of a bunch of people who don't have that, grew up in one place, aren't there anymore, have been for a long time in another place, but will always be a come from away, And how do you be in the world in a compassionate, equitable way without that kind of root, which, let's face it, in history, human beings have always been strongly identified with the place they're from. This is probably one of the most mobile times for human beings in history.